if I was playing basketball and I break LeBron's ankle, what do I get as punishment? I get given a red card, banned for like 3 games, 6 games, a couple of fines, but he loses his entire season. He doesn't play. He's in pain. His wife is not going to be happy about it. She's going to be hurt that her husband is hurt. They can't freely go to the park. They can't play like they want to play. The kids are not going to be happy because dad can't do things he does with them. He's going to lose he's going to lose his ability to express himself and express his gift, maybe for life, because his ankle is broken. His team are going to lose an influential player. The team owner is going to lose money. So now, how does the punishment measure up to the crime? Imagine if LeBron is a promising player and they destroy his promising career by breaking his ankle. How much punishment should I get? If you ban me from the game for life, my ankle is still good. Right? Like, so how do you punish the crime? If you stop him from having a successful career, imagine if LeBron was just like, before he blew up and someone broke his ankle. And it can't be LeBron. And it can't be a political figure or like a legend amongst the black people. And he can't win championships for his team. And it can't be someone who his wife is proud of or the kids are proud of. Think about it. You can't imagine breaking the legs or the ankle of 10 LeBron James. What do you give me? 10 fines? You ban him for 10 months? How does that punishment justify the crime? So you can't measure the crime committed. You can't measure the damage done by the crime committed. Likewise, you cannot measure the extent or the worth of the punishment. You can't say this punishment is enough because you do not see how deep the crime goes. So you can't say 1,000 years of punishment is too much for someone who just committed 3 years of crime. You don't know how deep 3 years of crime goes. You don't know how many people are affected by the 3 years of crime committed. I hope you understand what I mean. So, I just want to dive into this. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy here. Now, there's this video that has been going on around. It's actually a little bit popular on TikTok. It's a video of the son of John Piper, Abraham Piper. I'm not sure if you know John Piper, but John Piper is an author. He's a Christian author, and he also, I think, is the founder or the owner of this Christian website, Desiring God, which is a really fantastic website for Christian content. I've actually been studying a lot of their, their research and their works for a couple of years. And I never knew his son has actually, become an atheist for some reason. However, he made a video about hell. He made a video about hell and why hell is not real, why the whole thing doesn't make sense, and why God has to be evil to do that to people. Now, the funny thing is, like, so many things are wrong in the video. So many things are wrong. So hell is not so much a place to hurt evil people. I'll break it down. I'll break down why I'm saying so. So, I want people to understand that hell is real. Hell is a place. Hell has to be a place. So, number one, God is not evil, because evil means ill intentions, negative intentions towards people. So evil in context means you're coming up with something negative, something that is going to put people at a detriment, something that is going to hurt people. But judgment is not exacted. The way God has structured judgment, the way judgment is structured, even on earth, judgment is not structured in such a way that it strikes people. Although it does hurt people, but judgment is not created to strike people. Judgment is created to strike crime. We are not judging the people, we are judging the crime. And in any case where a particular crime can be sort of associated with some people, or some particular judgment is peculiar to some people, then the judgment is biased, and the judgment is not authentic, it's not just, it's not fair. Now, God is a fair judge because he's no respecter of persons. And so what makes God unique and what makes God good? What makes God good is God has not created his judgment to exert his judgment on people. Judgment is not created to hurt people. Judgment is created against crime. So say for instance, you are driving on the road. There is a speed sign that says speed limit 60 miles per hour. If you go beyond 60 miles per hour, you are committing a crime. Whatever judgment is coming up against you, it's not really against you. It's against the crime you have committed. Why? Because the law is against people speeding beyond a certain limit. So, what am I trying to say? The MVA has made laws not against people. Nobody is going to come to your house and say MVA has made a law against you. No. But they have made a law against speeding. The DMV or wherever you are, I'm in Maryland, so ours is more like MVA. So the DMV is structured in such a way that it's associated to crime it's associated to, its judgment is associated to the crime. It's associated to the things done. If I ram into someone and I keep ramming into him, or say a cop is trying to pull me over and I'm running, I'm just doing the race, judgment will be against the crime. If, if I get a ticket, it's not going to say for you being black, for you being African, it's not going to say that. It's going to talk about the thing that is wrong. Failure to pull over, maybe when the cop, failure to, or ignoring the cop, however that is being addressed. So that is the first thing I want to establish. Judgment is against the crime. It's not against people. Now, number two, judgment is exerted as a people. We reject the judgment. That is why it becomes personified. So, I believe the people create the law. If you study the Bible, God spoke to the people at Mount Sinai. They came together. It calls his law covenant. That is something that I put down and something you accept. It's a people thing. So we judge. I will rewind that so you get it clearly. God puts his laws. He says his laws as covenants. That you do this, I bless you. You do this, I bless you. So it becomes a covenant. So if you do this, you have every right to demand that from God. You get what I'm trying to say? You have every right to demand that. Say, for instance, you are, as a citizen of the US, you have every right to vote. You have every right to demand answers from the people in authority. You have every right to do certain things. You have the right to do it. Why? Because you are in accordance to the law, but not only in accordance to the law, you are also part of the law. You could be summoned to be part of the jury and part of the process of executing a law in a law court. Each and every one of us that are citizens, right? You have every right. You're literally like part of the jury. So, as the people, we've created the law. Now, if you move against the law, you personify the crime. So we hate the crime, but we come against you for citing the crime. So the people reject you. Say, for instance, you are playing football, you're playing a game, or you're playing basketball. You shouldn't hurt people. You shouldn't try to break someone's ankle. Otherwise, you destroy the game we all love, right? And as a people, we reject the crime. We reject hurting people on the field. But because you are a brand that has created that crime, you are being rejected. You are being ejected. Right? So as a people, we reject the crime. And while we are rejecting the crime is within you. So we reject you as a person. So see hell not as God just throwing people in hell. Say, for instance, cancel culture. Cancel culture can be exerted on someone who is homophobic or someone who is racist. Right? You are going against a law. But what happens as a people, we push you away because we don't identify with the crime. Now, if you say you're sorry, we bring you back in society. Which brings me to the third thing. Hell has to be a place. Because when we push you away from where we are, when we push you away from society, we push you away from our place. We push you away from our space. Why? Because we don't want to be associated with the crime that is in you. You embody that crime now. So if you speed and you keep speeding, and speeding is something you do, or you commit some certain traffic crime, and it mounts up to a level, what happens? You lose your license and you lose your ability to be on the road. You lose your privilege to be on the road. So you can't be on the road with us. We reject that as a people. And what happens? You are out of place. So it's not so much about, oh, God has to be evil because he's burning people, because he's doing this. All those certain things that are sort of like laws in the Bible, they are not just stuff that God is stipulating. They are stuff that as a people, as a righteous people, as a just people, we are against murder. We don't want someone to murder us. We don't want someone to lie to us. We don't want someone to want things that are ours so much that they want to steal it. Those laws are for us. In as much as they are God's law. They are God's law for us, living amongst ourselves. How many laws? Check the 10 Commandments. How many relate to God? Maybe 3 or 4. The rest are to ourselves. That's why Jesus said, love God, right? The first commandment is to love God with all your strength and all your might and all your soul. But the second, which is also as important as the first, though holds different weight, because you are to love God more than you love yourself, but you are to love your neighbor as much as you love yourself. And those are the 2 commandments upon which every other law sits. So you get the concept. So when you decide to not love people, when you decide to be harsh against people, as a people, we reject you. It's simple to explain, but I just want to make this video, make this rough draft. I'll break it down again in another video. And then there's a talk about hell. God trying to just put people in hell is gross, is grotesque, is this, is that. Nobody can describe hell. Why? Because judgment hasn't happened. You can say you've seen a vision of hell, you've seen this person in hell, but the Bible tells you that after the end of everything, on Judgment Day, that's when judgment happens. So what then is the hell people see? The hell people see right now is the hell in your head, is the hell in your vision, is the hell you see when you leave your body. But you are still here. That's why the hell that people talk about, one person talks about the hell, is a little bit different from the next person. If people are burning like literal fire, you're not going to be able to identify the person. you see in hell. You're not going to be able to walk through the place. If it's like a whole place that is on fire, right? You're not going to be able to walk through the place. You're not going to be able to identify who is gnashing who. You're not going to be able to, like, there are so many certain things that are just not feasible in a place that is burning up. You get what I'm saying? But it's such a place that it's described with so much hate. It's described with so much, so much terrifying imagery. Why? Why is it such a place that we would hate to be? Why? Because the crime that we commit are stuff that God wants us to hate the crime just as much as the place. Because there's a part of the Bible that talks about the foot of hell and the belly of hell and then the mouth of hell. What does that mean? So is it saying some places will be hotter than some places? Like some places you'll be hot, but like you could still do some barbecue, you could still chill, still kick it. Like, it's different. And all of that is difficult to explain. There's no judgment yet. Just like you can't fully describe what heaven is like, you can't fully describe what hell is like. Because it's not like you've been there and you're back. In the spirit, you've seen it as a vision, right? But you haven't lived in hell. So, what other thing do I want to talk about? I want to talk about like the fact where he also talked about like the level of punishment. Like, what have people done? You can't judge. You can't judge punishment. You can't say a punishment is too high. Why? Because you can't measure the damage the crime has created. If I was playing basketball and I break LeBron's ankle, what do I get as punishment? I get given a red card, banned for like 3 games, 6 games, a couple of fines, but he loses his entire season. He doesn't play. He's in pain. His wife is not going to be happy about it. She's going to be hurt that her husband is hurt. They can't freely go to the park. They can't play like they want to play. The kids are not going to be happy because dad can't do things he does with them. He's going to lose he's going to lose his ability to express himself and express his gift. Maybe for life, because his ankle is broken. His team are going to lose an influential player. The team owner is going to lose money. So now, how does the punishment measure up to the crime? Imagine if LeBron is a promising player and they destroy his promising career by breaking his ankle. How much punishment should I get? If you ban me from the game for life, my ankle is still good. Right? Like, so how do you punish the crime? If you stop him from having a successful career, imagine if LeBron was just like, before he blew up and someone broke his ankle. And it can't be LeBron. And it can't be a political figure or like a legend amongst the black people. And he can't win championships for his team. And it can't be someone who his wife is proud of or the kids are proud of. Think about it. You can't imagine breaking the legs or the ankle of 10 LeBron James. What do you give me? 10 fines? You ban him for 10 months? How does that punishment justify the crime? So you can't measure the crime committed. You can't measure the damage done by the crime committed. Likewise, you cannot measure the extent or the worth of the punishment. You can't say this punishment is enough because you do not see how deep the crime goes. So you can't say 1,000 years of punishment is too much for someone who just committed 3 years of crime. You don't know how deep 3 years of crime goes. You don't know how many people are affected by the 3 years of crime committed. I hope you understand what I mean. So I've been able to explain that you cannot measure the damage done by crime. Neither should you try to measure how just the punishment will be, because there will never be even. There can only be parallel. They can only be parallel. We can only raise the punishment to the level where you hate the punishment as much as you hate the parallel. Say, for instance, you murdered someone. You went into someone's home and you shot the husband in the head. He's the breadwinner of the family. He's the leader of the family. He brings smile to the kids' faces. You killed him. But you are a 17-year-old kid. You are not the breadwinner of your family. You don't have kids yet. You don't have a wife. So your family, your mom, your sisters, they're going to cry if you're in jail. But him, apart from having a mom and having sisters, he has a wife and he has kids. Probably has a job, probably has projects. But you're a 17-year-old kid. There was an incident that happened in DC. 2 girls. They crashed this man's car. It was doing Uber. And they killed him. He is the breadwinner of his family. Father of multiple children. Husband to a wife. Having relatives as well. These girls are only going to go to jail. So, do you want to tell me 10 years of being in jail for 16-year-olds that will get out at the age of 26 or 36 is going to be even? When you measure that to the life lost, kids being denied their father, you don't know if those kids are going to plunge into poverty or they're going to plunge into not having leadership. Now the wife has to, come on, you can't measure punishment and measure crime and say they are even. There's no way punishment measures evenly with crime. They can only be parallel. We can only raise the punishment to the level where we hate the punishment as much as we hate the crime. So I've been able to explain the hell, you can't judge the punishment in hell by the punishment of crime committed on earth. Secondly, hell is not created because God hates the people. It's not created for the people. It's created because of the crime. It's created for the hatred for the hatred we have for the crime. It's created for the idolatry. It's created for people that are, it's created for the liars, for the backstabbers, for the evil doers. You get me? That's what it's created for. It's created for the evil. The Bible talks about death and Hades or something being plunged into the lake of fire. So it's created for the things we hate, for the very things we hate, for the very things that kill us. It's more like a separation from those things that kill us, from those things that we do not like, from those things that we do not want, like murder, like cheating. Hell is a place where God is going to put all those things. But the problem is those things are in people. And some people are trying their best to not detach from those things. You're trying your best to not detach from those things. So it's more like the fly, like the insect that follows the dung into the sewage. So hell is created for the crime, right? And the law is being created by the people, by a body. Even if judgment is exerted by a few or by God, singular, it is created by us. It's written in us. There are the things we hate being put in there. And lastly, hell has to be a place because we reject hell. We reject all of that from where we are. So you have to. You cannot think about judgment without attaching a place to it. You can't create judgment without attaching a place to it, because you don't want those things you don't like in your space. So you want them away. Like a cheating husband is pushed away by his wife from the home. because she doesn't want to be associated with the cheating. She doesn't hate the husband. She hates the fact that she hates the cheating, really. But the problem is the cheating is in the man. So she pushes the man away because she hates the cheating that much. Because it hurts her that much. So I hope you're able to understand that hell has to be a place. And you know, I just want to just break this down. If you like what I've said, if you have any input, please go in the comment section below and say something. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong in any way, or if there's anything you want to add to it. Also, what was I gonna say? Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I want to get to 2,000 followers, 2,000 subscribers on YouTube before the end of this year. So support your boy, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later.